for the Clara and the Ryan. Okay, right? This is the couple we don't get to talk about as often, but I want to see Clara and Ryan, guys. For me, I'm just gonna say it straight. They haven't consummated marriage. He doesn't want to talk about. He doesn't want her to talk about sex. I think it's kind of suspect. I'm just saying. So I'm gonna go to DD first, innit? Because I'm gonna go to the guy. DD. Yeah. You know I was coming for you. DD. Let me ask you a question, brother. I mean, I want to ask you a direct question. Have you ever told any girl you've dated not to talk about sex
No,
to someone else?
no. It's for me. It's up to them if they want to speak about their sex life to someone else or their friends. But no, I've never done that. It makes no sense to me because why would I not want them to talk about it anyway? Because that means I'm doing a good job. I'm just saying, you know.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So that's just my opinion.
That's all I wanted. A man opinion, just to back what I was saying. If you're doing a good job, you never tell the girl not to say anything. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? You know, let her sing your praises. You know, son. The Bible says, let others sing your praises. Why would you keep her quiet? You understand? But I appreciate it.
Thank you for putting me in the spot.
No worries, no worries. But let me ask a real question now. Clara and Ryan, for real though. What's our thoughts on Clara and Ryan? Kenny, since you're on my right-hand side, I'm going to go to you. So, Kenny, what's your thoughts on Clara and Ryan? I know you don't like talking about them, but you have to talk about them tonight. So, what's your thoughts on Clara and Ryan?
It's okay. It's okay. Because you gave the heads up earlier in the day, I made sure I watched all the couples because I knew you were going to do this to me. Usually, I'll be multitasking. Only when the Black people come on do I stop what I'm doing. But, you know, I want to be a value add to your ministry. So, okay. All right, Clara and Ryan. I feel like their relationship is just like Ryan's cupboards. There's stuff behind the scenes that we're not aware of. I think because every time Pastor Kyle had a question, she would look at him for what the answer is. That kind of like first lady of the church look where you're always looking at your husband. And I'm like, you know, you're not a church lady like that. So it's not that we're trying to be a positive united front. Is like we want to get our story straight kind of front, right? That's what I'm getting. I think they're not doing some stuff. I think there's a weird conversation that Ryan has had behind the scenes with her where he has convinced her that it's in their best interest not to say anything. I don't know if they're doing the nasty or not, but I think that's like whatever it is that they are doing, what they have told us is not the truth.
Okay, Shanae, you're on her right, so go for it.
You know, like Kenny said, it's the whole facade, right? It's the look good on the outside, but if I get up underneath the underbelly, it's a mess. And no one's tended to it. It really spoke to me that your whole cabinet is like this, and your thought was not to try to do this, but how about we just keep piling stuff on top of it? And I thought to myself, after a while, it's going to break even further. And you don't care because we just closed the door to the cabinet, right? So much like their relationship, Clara, it don't matter what's going on. It don't matter what I do to you. It don't matter what I say. It doesn't matter how I limit you. We're just going to close back these cabinet doors and keep it nice and pretty on the outside. That's abusive to me.
We started strong with the K and the S out here. Didi, I know I asked you earlier on about the other thing, but just in general.
Yeah, well, so far the ladies are killing it because they're on point with what they were saying. That man life is like his cupboard. Like he has this polished thing about him on the outside, but on the inside, he's totally like not what he think or what he seems to be. But the ladies took it. I agree with the two of them, and I don't want to go further more about the two of them because I just think he's controlling, and he's controlling her, and she's so manipulated by him, and she's looking for love. So she's trying to do everything to make sure that she don't mess this up, and he now is just taking advantage of what, like her reactions, the way she responds, and her self-esteem as well. I think he'd have a part to play in it because somebody with a high self-esteem would not stand for what he's doing, in my opinion, but I can see what he's doing. As a guy, I can see what he's doing, and he's very controlling.
Chase and bread, we've come out strong, blood. Y'all ain't playing tonight. All right, Araba, talk to them.
I agree, Didi. I think he's controlling because let me just be real raw, real grown. We're grown ups here.
Come on now, sis.
I'm side eyeing their sexual relationship, right?
Mm.
Because we know Clara's a freak. Okay.
Freak.
We know Clara's a freak. Let's just put it out there. She's attracted to Ryan. I'm sure she would slobber that up in a second if she could.
Yep.
But for some reason, Ryan is slowing down that process. Even though we could tell that he wants some. But for whatever reason, I think he's trying to put on this facade of, I'm taking my time. That's the right thing, the humble thing to do. Listen, like, y'all are not Jacob or Haley. Y'all are not Paige or Chris. We won't be mad if y'all have sex. Just do it. Because clearly there's some tension there. And it can be released. Y'all are married. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But I feel like, I agree with everyone else on the panel that Ryan is just putting up a facade. And I think he thinks that we're going to judge him for something, or he thinks like upholding this image is going to do him more good than it really isn't. Like, we really don't care. Be who you are at the end of the day. You're grown. Like, no one's putting a gun to your head for you to, act or be a certain way. Just do you. And at the end of the day, if people don't like that, then it is what it is, So hopefully, Clara gets some, because we can see she's sexually frustrated. And I'm sure Ryan will benefit from it too. So we're gonna pray for them. They two couples we're gonna put on the prayer line along with Paige and Chris, but we'll talk about that later.
Before I get to my bottom set of people, I want to change the question slightly, or ask a question to kind of formulate you guys' thoughts then. So do you think that him being so rigid, formulated, scheduled, routined, can work against her more? I just do whatever I want to do at any time, because that's how she's also very spontaneous. She's very on the go. You know what I mean? So, is it a balance, or is it a bit too much fixing from Ryan when it comes to the relationship with himself and Clara? Or is it too early to judge? I don't know. So, Lola, you're already in my eyesight, so let us know.
All right. So
Yep.
So let me answer this question first. So in terms of him being a little, because definitely you can see he's controlled, he's structured, he's tiny, but you can see he has this force around him, and she does what he wants her to do. For some reason, we haven't discovered that yet. But typically in relationships, there's always this yin and yang. So can it work? Yes, it can. With them, I don't know. They don't really know each other yet. And I think the reason why the specialists or the experts put them together was to some extent so they could meet each other in the middle. So he could be a little bit more spontaneous and more open, and then she could be less kind of out there and kind of find some structure within the tornado. So can it work? Yes, you see couples where they're the complete opposite, and it works that way sometimes when one's really quiet and the other one's really loud. So they'll just kind of let the loud one kind of go around in the background until they do too much, and then they'll just kind of pull a little bit, and then the person comes back. So yes, it can work in that respect. Now, in terms of this couple, two things. I was surprised to hear that they hadn't consummated their relationship. Okay. Because particularly, she's free-spirited, she's loving, I love him already. We know that. But the second thing is, if it's true, why? And I remember the conversation he was having with Pastor Calvin. They were saying something about, I've never fallen in love. And Pastor Calvin said, love is not just emotion, it's a decision. And so they kind of went through that structure. So for him, is he holding back because he's still looking for a back door to say, if this doesn't work, I'm out? So he doesn't want to completely commit. Is that why he's holding back? Or are they just covering it on, they don't want to tell us anything and they're trying to keep us out of their relationship? So it's two things, but we know he's the one kind of running the reins. But why? Why is Clara buying this? They've only been together a few days. How has he exercised that much control where she's buying into his plan for them? So that's what we'll begin to see. I hope for the best, but yeah, I'm a little concerned, because particularly that analogy, when they open up that cupboard, because his apartment looked lovely, and then the shelf was like this, and he had boxes on the shelf. Like, who, what, like, Look, I'm not a handyman, but that would drive, and it wasn't just one. It wasn't one cupboard. All of them were all jacked up. So that's like an analogy for his life. What's he putting under the carpet all the time? What's he hiding? Who is he really? Why is he so controlled? Is he controlled to hide something? Why did he sign up for a show? I guess that's left to be seen and heard.
I hear that. Let me stay hydrated. Jess, go for it.